I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's News Update. U.S. Senator Joe Lieberman, who is set to retire at the end of this month, has drafted a resolution calling on the European Union to recognize Hezbollah as a terror organization and to bring sanctions against them. The resolution asks President Obama to provide information about Hezbollah to the U.S.'s European allies. It also calls on those countries to support the investigation currently taking place by the government of Bulgaria of the July 18th terror attack in the town of Borjas that killed 5 Israeli tourists and their Bulgarian bus driver, believed to have been perpetrated by Hezbollah. The bill also mentions Hezbollah's role in several other terror attacks, including the Israeli embassy in Argentina in '92 and on the Jewish Center in Buenos Aires in '94, as well as Hezbollah's continued support of President Bashar al-Assad's violent campaign in Syria. Should the bill pass, Hezbollah would be unable to continue to fundraise, finance, recruit, or train throughout Europe. Over 50 senators have co-signed the bill, which is set to be formally introduced in the next few days. The United States designated Hezbollah as a foreign terrorist organization back in 1997. The JTA reports that incoming and outgoing leaders of the U.S. House Foreign Affairs Committee are circulating a letter calling on President Obama to close the Washington office of the Palestine Liberation Organization, or PLO. The call comes after a Senate amendment proposing the closure was removed from the National Defense Authorization Act, which passed last week. Republican Representative Ileana Ros-Lehtinen of Florida, Democrat Howard Berman of California, Republican Edward Royce of California, and Democrat Eliot Engel of New York say in their letter that they are deeply disappointed that the Palestinian Authority went ahead with their status upgrade bid at the UN, despite opposition from the U.S. They wrote one important way of expressing U.S. disapproval would be to send the message that such actions are not cost-free and that at a minimum they result in setbacks to U.S.-Palestinian relations. They further said we can do this by closing the PLO office in Washington, D.C. We can also call our Consul General in Jerusalem home for consultations. We urge you to take these steps. The JTA also states that a note accompanying the letter says it is backed by AIPAC, the pro-Israel lobby. The United Nations General Assembly passed a resolution proposed by Israel on Friday that encourages private and public sector entrepreneurship in order to help fight poverty and create jobs. 129 countries voted in favor of the resolution, 31 voted against, and 9 countries abstained. The General Assembly's Arab bloc was among those who voted against the move. Israel's ambassador to the UN, Ron Prosor, said that the Arab group stated it would vote against the resolution even before negotiations on it ended. Prosor called that a shame, saying few places could benefit from entrepreneurship more than the Arab world. Every Arab delegate who voted no is sending the message that he cares far more about petty politics than human prosperity. Israel's mission to the UN found that young entrepreneurs in many developing countries face bureaucratic, social, and financial obstacles. The resolution urges governments to help foster entrepreneurship in order to fight poverty and push economic growth. The resolution's passing was seen not only as a diplomatic victory for Israel, but also as a success for Israel's mission to the UN for showing Israel as a source of global know-how and ingenuity. The Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations issued a holiday appeal for the release of Jonathan Pollard. Conference Chairman and Executive Vice Chairman Richard Stone and Malcolm Hoenlein, respectively, released a statement saying, as we are in the holiday season, it would be a particularly appropriate time to heed the appeal of the many leaders from a wide variety of spheres of American life, in addition to the many members of Congress who have appealed for his release. This includes people who were involved in the case or others who were initially opposed to any act of clemency. They have now called for Pollard's release. Stone and Hoenlein specifically thanked Congressman Eliot Engel and Chris Smith for their spearheading a letter to President Obama urging him to grant clemency for Pollard, who soon will reach his 10,000th day in prison. They cited their visits with Pollard, saying they have heard his expressions of remorse for his actions, which Pollard has also stated publicly. They also mentioned Pollard's deteriorating health and said, quote, his further incarceration is indefensible, unquote. Pollard was convicted of spying for Israel. He is entering the 28th year of a life sentence. And finally, today, several thousand IDF soldiers will be receiving a special Hanukkah present from the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews, known as the Fellowship, and Friends of the Israel Defense Forces, or FIDF, in collaboration with the Association for the Well-Being of Israel's Soldiers. Over 8,000 soldiers in need and lone soldiers, referring to soldiers whose families live abroad, will be receiving gift vouchers for the holiday that can be used to purchase food, clothing, and other products. Fellowship founder and president Rabbi Yechiel Eckstein said, we are proud to support those who choose, despite difficulties at home, to enlist and contribute to the defense of the State of Israel. FIDF National Director and CEO Major General in Reserve Yitzhak Gershon praised IDF soldiers, calling them the Maccabees of the 21st century. He said of the voucher program, it is a great privilege stemming from our mission and the vision of strengthening those who protect Israel, while further reinforcing the important bond between the community in America, the State of Israel, and its soldiers. And that's Shalom TV's News Update. I'm Teisha Bader.